it was a whole school assembly with like 300 kids and all the colleagues, like teachers. He called me in front and he knelt down and he presented me a ring. Yeah, and he asked me, will you marry me?
And the answer is?
Yes.
My mom, like, completely like, cut me off when I told her that I have a Kenyan boyfriend. Yeah, she's like, no. It's a no-go zone. If it was Italian, if it was British, if it was America, but not African. Kama umepoteza matumaini, itakuwa ni gumu sana hata kama unaishi nyumba poa, uko na magari, uko na manini, kama hakuna matumaini kwa roho, itakuwa ni gumu sana.
Hello, welcome to Tuko Talks. My name is Lynn Ngugi, coming to you straight from Nakuru County. And of course, I had to bring my red chairs. Munaziona vizuri? So when I say Tuko Talks is going international, this is exactly what I mean. But of course, we have to start from home before we can go anywhere else. Now, there is nothing that makes me more happy than to see someone who believes in their gift, in their partner, and is willing to fight for their relationship no matter what. My guest today is super inspirational. She is beautiful, she is pretty, and she can kill Swahili. When you mjui what killing Swahili is, I mean she can talk perfect Swahili. So without further ado, please allow me to let her introduce herself. Mami, habari yako?
Mzuri sana. Mimi ninaita Yuka.
Yeah.
Mimi ni Mjapani na nimeolewa na Mkenya. Mimi nimefurahi sana leo. Asante kwa kuja Nakuru all the way.
Yeah.
And tumefurahi sana.
Tumefurahi sana.
Yes.
We made it to Nakuru.
Yes.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so like it's so nice to see you. And I, you know, when I went through your message on Facebook, I was like, this woman, she is inspirational, she's determined, she's optimistic, and I know Kenyans are dying to hear your story, and they're like, Lynn, stop, we want to hear Yuka. So who is Yuka?
Okay, as I said, I come from Japan. I was born and raised in Japan, and I was born to, unfortunately, a broken family, I would say, and I had a dad, and he was like an engineer, but he was very abusive, and he used to beat my mom, and all of us, we were 3 kids, and like we used to see, like we grew up seeing my mom crying and, you know, being beaten like in front of our eyes. We were also beaten, and we were also abused, like verbally, like psychologically. So that's where I came from, and it made me like not have confidence in myself. Like I was convinced that I'm not good for anything, like I wouldn't make it like in life, and I just thought like life is such a pain, because I was seeing like all around myself like marriage was just failure. Like my uncles, my aunties, they just had all dysfunctional marriages. We didn't have a role model as such. I didn't even know God back then. Like we were Buddhist kind of family. So I was, at one point I was suicidal, like because I just thought, now what is life all about? Because it's just pain everywhere.
And too much pain.
Yeah. And my mom is not happy, and I don't think like what's the point. Like I was really like academic. I got into the best university in Japan, but I still didn't see like anything, like what's the point of all this, you know? Like there's no hope. Like you meet a guy, you get a bit close, you get dumped, or you can't like stand him later. And because I didn't have any like anger management skill or anything, like all I knew was just fighting and beating women. So I was really at one point contemplating like I should just die and things will be just the same, like life goes on, people will just get back to normal, and like really what's the point? Yeah, like what's the point? Then at one point I got to hear the stories about like Africa, children in Africa, you know, dying of starvation, and that was like year 2000 or something, and I'm like, at this point I couldn't believe people are dying because of not having food.
Really?
Yeah, or you know, like people are fighting because of like resources and people are dying. So I'm like, now like if there's something like that, I had education, I had clothes, I had
food.
Yeah, never
Yeah.
suffered. Like thankfully my father provided for everything, except for that emotional need. So like I was like, I'm really fortunate compared to these kids who are dying like even on the streets. So why wouldn't I use then this life that I have, instead of dying, you know, to do something? Like I can just assume I died once and do something for these people, and maybe I can offer them some help. So that's when I started thinking like I want to do like humanitarian work, and I decided to follow, like pursue, and that's when I went to the university in England to study for my master's degree in humanitarian aid. And then I met Nick, yeah, at that time, and I had started going to church when I was down there, like in the dark thoughts. I had started going to church, and then so we met in church in England.
In England?
Yeah, in England. And it was the church that was like attached to the university.
Yeah.
So we were both students there, and he was studying audio engineering at that time. And we met, and I liked to sing, and he was like the band master in that
Okay.
church. So I talked to the pastor that I wanted to sing, and then I was introduced to Nick. And then, you know, that time, like first time we met, like I thought he was like a bit strange.
Why?
Because like he was like, oh hi, like he didn't like have eye contact or as such.
Okay.
And he was like, oh hi, he was at the piano.
Yes.
And then he's like, it's nice to meet you, and so I can teach you the songs, and I can take you through the songs that we are doing in the band. And then from there, like 2 hours, like non-stop, he was like, this song and this song and this song, you know. And then like I was like, I want to go home.
You are like, he's too much.
Yeah, like I was like, I just wanted to join the band
Yes.
and maybe attend the practice. Like I wasn't ready for 2 hours session.
Yes.
And then like I thought he was like not interested in girls at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was not even looking at you he was not even giving you eye contact. He was all over his business.
Yeah, like we didn't establish like a relationship.
Yes.
Like get to know each other or anything. He just said, hi, my name is Nick. Nice to meet you. And there's this song, there's this song, there's this song, there's this song, and then bye. So I'm like, maybe like maybe later we'll be good friends or something. Kumbe, at that time, like he had set his eyes on me.
Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't know like until much later.
Yeah.
He left after like meeting for 1 month. We didn't even become like friends as such. We just knew each other in the church. And then little did I know that he was following me on Facebook at that time, like when we were separated, like afterwards.
Yeah.
And I used to post because I was studying for humanitarian aid. I was going to Nigeria to do my research. And so I was posting like on Facebook, like in Nigeria things are like this. I washed utensils in the bucket for the first time in my life. You know, I come from Japan. So like I never squatted to wash the utensils like that.
How do people from Japan wash dishes?
You see,
I'm
like
just asking.
water everywhere,
Yeah.
hot water comes out of the tap, and everything is clean, like you can drink from the tap.
And here you have even to go fetch water from a distance.
Yeah, actually I had never had power cut in my life, ever, until I went to Nigeria.
You experienced blackout first time in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, kumbe, these things can happen.
Yeah.
And I got malaria in Nigeria for the first time, things like that. So I was posting things on Facebook. And then he was watching it, but he was not saying anything. Like he was not even putting likes or nothing. So I didn't know. And so he came back later for graduation.
Yeah.
You know, because there was complications with the post-election violence at that time. So it was delayed a bit. So when I was almost graduating, he came for the graduation. And so we met and we stayed in the same house, which was shared by the band members at that time. So there was a time, I think the other band members were trying to set us up. Like they felt it's a good match.
Yes.
So they left us, two of us in the room. And then he was like, you went to Nigeria. Then I'm like, how did you know? Yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even remember we were friends on Facebook and didn't expect that he's watching me because he didn't show any interest in me when we were together. So he's like, you went to Nigeria. I'm like, yeah. Let's watch your videos or like photos. I'm like, what do you want to know? And so we started watching it like on the laptop. And then there was a part where, you know, I was like featured by some Nigerian TV as a Japanese student coming to study.
Yeah.
And that host, like by joke, said, Yuka is looking for a marriage partner. So if you are interested in Yuka, just call this number or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We were just joking.
Yes.
And then, but I got so many messages from Nigerian people. Yeah. I still get it up to date.
Because your number was given.
Yeah, and it kept, I think it keeps showing on Nigerian TV anyway. So that time Nick said, I should apply for it. I'm like, what? What are you saying? Then he said, I like you. Then I'm like, what? I didn't know. Like, I didn't know anything. Then that's where we started to like hit it off. Like, I don't mind it. We can give it a try. But then, as I said, like he was coming for just graduation.
Yeah.
So he went back home in Kenya. And he said, like, see, I was also finishing. So he said, before you go back to Japan, you should find time and visit me in Kenya. You see things in Kenya. So I was like, now what should I do? Because I was coming with my parents' money. So is it even like right to use that money without telling them?
Yes.
To pass by Kenya and go back to Japan? And my mom, like, completely like, cut me off when I told her that I have a Kenyan boyfriend. Yeah, she's like, no. It's a no-go zone. If it was Italian, if it was British, if it was America, but not African.
Oh,
Yeah.
that must have been hard for you to hear.
Yeah, but now looking back, I kind of understand her because she was not exposed. Like she didn't even go to university. So she like knew only Africa as shown on TV, like poor people who need help, no clean water, drinking from the mud, things like that, you know. And her coming from now poor background also like herself.
She did not want you to end up that way.
Yeah.
So to her, an African man was a no-go zone.
Yeah, she couldn't like stand to see me suffering, you know. And I was also the firstborn daughter, so she was kind of counting on me in that old turmoil in the family.
And to continue the legacy.
Yeah. So I felt sad. At that time, I couldn't see where she's coming from. So I thought she didn't want me to be happy, just the way she was not happy. But I didn't see it at that time. So anyway, I just went because the friends in that same house, the band members, they're like, you should go. Because if you go back to Japan and get a job, you'll never get an opportunity.
To go to Kenya.
Yeah, to go to Kenya. So I just took the plunge and came to Nakuru at that time and visited him for like 2 weeks. Visited his family in Taita Taveta. Yeah, met his dad and relatives, uncles, aunties.
Hey,
Yeah.
you even went and met the family.
Yeah.
Did they know that like you were coming as his crush, his girlfriend, his future wife,
Well-
or what? How did he introduce you?
I don't know how he talked to them, but they were like all excited. Like the whole village almost came out to take a photo with me. You know, it's really far. You know, so and people were like, I saw people are like didn't have jobs as such there, and I just came to think like for him, he brought himself out there from there and went all the way to university in England to do his masters. That must mean like a lot.
He's super hardworking and optimistic.
Yeah, and determined and everything. Yeah, and also I came to the school where he used to teach, and I saw the relationship that he had with the students, how they admire him. He was really a role model to many kids. And even the parents, like, they really trusted him. So I just saw, like, this is somebody with a passion, with a vision, yeah. And I started thinking, like, really serious about where it's headed, At that time, before I left Kenya, it was interesting because there are many other teachers who were waiting anxiously for him to get married. And it was the first girl ever that he brought. Like, they had never seen him with a girl. So they were like, when are you getting married? Those mamas.
Yes, the mamas.
Yeah. And so
we call them auntie, in-laws, our in-laws.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they were pushing, and then I'm like, but I don't know, because he's not proposed me, he's not told me anything. So I'm going back to Japan. I'm going to find a job there. So I don't know. So he took the hint, and he bought a ring. Yeah. So one day before I left Kenya, it was a whole school assembly with like 300 kids and all the colleagues, like teachers. He called me in front and he knelt down and he presented me a ring. Yeah. And he asked me, will you marry me?
And the answer is?
Yes.
He's super laughing because I can see the husband from here and we will sit down with him, but just a guy, he's cracking at the back.
Yeah.
So the kids were like,
yeah. And so everybody was so excited, congratulations. And to be honest, I didn't know like if I'm really getting married to this person, but like I had set my mind, like it came as an idea that I might get married.
Yeah.
And so I went back to Japan after that, because I hadn't worked before. I was just a university student. So I didn't just want to get married there and, and I didn't know anything else, like the world, to earn my own living, and even to use my degree from the university. I just felt it's not good.
Yeah.
So I went back to Japan. I worked for an NGO. I did 1 year. And then we kept in touch. Remember that time there's no WhatsApp?
Yes.
There's no like all these things.
It's just
Zoom.
emails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to send emails on Gmail.
Yes.
And there was something called G-chat.
Yeah.
Whereby you have to be both online to talk. You can't just send a message and then see it later.
Yeah.
And then remember like power cuts.
Yes.
Then there's time lag.
Yeah.
So we used to stay up late. Like I used to stay up late until like Nick was almost waking up like early in the morning, and we used to do like vice versa.
Yeah.
Then sometimes there's power cut, so like after all that waiting, we can't talk.
Exactly.
Or like he starts falling asleep when I'm chatting, and then like, what do you think? And then there's no answer. Maybe he slept, and then things like that. So we kept on communicating for like a year when I was in Tokyo.
Yeah. And before we even go on, like you just left Kenya with a ring, you are engaged, and you go home and tell your family, this is my ring from a Kenyan man.
Yeah.
And your family is already telling you, African men are a no-go zone for you. What were, especially your family, what was their reaction?
Well, they were not happy, like they were not approving of anything. And first of all, they were not happy I'm Christian. I became Christian, and they were not happy about anything. They're not happy I'm going to Tokyo, like nothing. So I just decided, if I was, as much as I was so afraid of my dad, if I keep listening to him, I'll never live my life. And, seeing what they have, if I keep listening to them, I'll become like them.
And you did not want that.
Yeah, like I wanted to try for myself, and even if I go to Africa and backfires, it's my choice. So I will be responsible.
Good.
But if I stay there and listen to my parents and do a marriage that makes my parents happy, I wouldn't like take responsibility. If something goes wrong, it's always my mom, it's always my dad, you know.
At what point did you guys now get together and decided, okay, now we need to start a family? And what are people back in Kenya saying about you too?
You know, as we were communicating, I developed like a complete trust in him, because he was always there, like as much as there was power cut and dozing off and all that, he was always there, kept promises. So that's somebody who is faithful and, you know, trustworthy.
And his family at home, they loved you?
Yeah.
Like, no, you cannot also marry a Japanese?
No, like his family, like all of them. By the way, he's the last born of 12 siblings. So there were many like aunties and sisters-in-law and his brothers-in-law. And I had never experienced like such a big family situation, you know. And so they really liked me, and they, you know, they treated me like one of their own, which I really appreciated, because I never had family love, you know. So when they offered me like accommodation, give me food the way they give to everybody else, just laugh about the same thing, I just felt like, wow, you know, a family is like this. Yeah, but later he told me like there were some concerns, like how will you take care of her niece, you know, coming all the way to Kenya, will she like be okay with all the hygiene, and everything is different. So there were some concerns, but not like really against, yeah, as such.
Okay, all right. So you came to Kenya, you landed, and you guys had this, I was watching your YouTube channel, and I was seeing your 10th year anniversary, where you had this crazy nice wedding.
Yeah.
So you even had a church wedding.
Yes, yes. We hired a venue which was inside the school where we were working at that time. I came to Kenya initially as part of the NGO work, because I didn't want to come as jobless person. That's when we started like preparing for marriage, and he was here in Nakuru, and we kept in touch. Then when we decided to get to the wedding, we decided like to do it like garden wedding, and we can use the venue in school, and all the colleagues in school got together and did the harambe, did the committees, made the tents and all that. So we got a pastor from Nairobi, and that's how he officiated that.
Oh, the wedding. Did you invite your family, and did they know you were getting married, and what did they say?
Yeah, actually my mom came. Like she gave in, although she was not happy, like she didn't have peace yet in her heart, but she just felt, I think, I should be there, like for Yuka, because otherwise she'll be all by herself in the midst of Kenyans. So I'm really grateful up to date. Yeah, because I think that was mother's love, because, you know, for her, she was under this bondage of like my dad. She couldn't even go like for 2 hours for shopping, because my dad was like always on.
Where are you? Where are you?
And she would be beaten.
Yeah.
So for her to come all the way to Kenya, get a passport, get a visa, come, she came with a friend, and it, I think looking back, it really meant a lot, because without her, it would have been different, the occasion.
Are you still glad you made the choices you made?
Like marriage?
In settling with Nick, yes.
Yeah. I think it was one of the best choices ever. After believing God, like giving my life to Jesus, because it really changed my life. Now I am not who I was before, and you know, that girl who wanted to die, now I can say that I'm glad I didn't die, because there was something else on the other side. You know, I didn't know that I can be a mom to kids, because I was like, why should I give birth to kids, because all the life has to offer is suffering. And you know, like, it's just painful. You just give birth to make yourself happy, but the kids won't be happy. I can't even parent them like because I didn't receive any love. But all that now is different. Like I have two beautiful daughters who look up to me, and I'm not a perfect mom, but I enjoy myself like every day with them, imparting like what I have to them. And what makes me just happy is the relationship that they have with the dad, the Nick. It's a healing process for me, like what I didn't get from my own dad. I see in them, like they joke freely with him, they do like piggyback rides, or they play music with him, take a walk with him. All that is just doing to the little girl that I was.
Yes. Na sasa, you know, you're wearing a nice kashata.
Oh, this one?
Hikari School of Music.
Yes.
Hikari ni nini?
So Hikari is a Japanese word, which means light. And we started a music school in 2017. We left the teaching job at the international school, and we decided it's time to act on the dream, because Nick was always saying that one day I would want to have a music school. So I was like, as much as the kids were small and all that, if we wait until the kids are big, like 20, we will be like, how old? And then, we will not have energy. Like, as of now, like, I can't keep up so much with the Instagram and all the technologies. Like, I know Facebook. So, like, you can imagine 20 years later, we'll be, like, so far away.
And we have TikTok also.
Like, what's that? So, I just encouraged him that, you know, you should do it when you have the energy. And so we started to take the plunge in 2017 and started a music school. And it was just really, it's been a phased journey, because we had been always employed and we had never done like any accounting or never employed anybody, never knew how to do like taxing or no nothing. We started from there. And initially it was like 1 student, 2 students, and we didn't even have a proper office, and we were looking around everywhere in town, and they were charging us a lot of money for rent. Yet we have 1 student. So I'm like, no. And then by the blessing of God, we went to church, and the pastor said, we are looking for a music school to work with us. We have a space where you can come. You pay the rent that you can pay. I'm like, who says that? You know, in this time. You pay that, you name your rent. So we settled there.
That was a miracle.
Just, you could just see God is just giving you the way where there's no way. Like, you know, he would just give you one step. So that's where we started in 2017. And as we kept going, it was just us and 1 person we hired as a receptionist, but kept getting like more students, and we started like hiring one teacher to just help us on the lesson by lesson basis. And so eventually we developed a vision that, you know, may it never be about making money, because we have everything that we need. You know, we don't even need 100,000 to take care of ourselves. It's just maybe 10,000, 20,000. It's enough, more than enough to take care of us and our kids. We don't need money. And so what do we want to do? What we want to do is to transform lives. So
through music.
We wanted to give good music education that can help the students, and also give opportunities to the people who want to work in the line of music, opportunities to work and a decent like pay that they deserve, and never ask them to do free work.
You don't believe in asking someone to do free work in exchange of their passion?
Because it's really unfair, and I've seen many young people really struggle in Kenya. Like, they finish university, which virtually there's no job opportunity like in Kenya, and so they have to do like almost free work for like many years before you can, if you're lucky, you land a job. Otherwise it's just hustling, and it's called tamarking. So I just felt bad, because they have talents, they have energy, they have all these dreams, yet they are pressed down by the society because we don't want to pay them, because we feel they can do free work because they're desperate, which is unfair, because these are the people who will build our society. When my kids grow up, these are the people who will give them the jobs, you know.
And how has that experience been like for you, and how is it, how has the school progressed?
Well, it's really been interesting. Sometimes, of course, it comes with ups and downs. Sometimes there are really good times where the students say, thank you so much for what you have done. Or even the teachers, they come and say, thank you for the opportunity. Some other times teachers come, insult us like in our face, say like so many things, and I'm like, I've resigned. Then like, hey, you feel so hurt, you feel so discouraged, like people don't see the way you are thinking this job is helping them. It's not the same for like everybody.
They don't think that. Yeah.
It's not like mutual. It's not for everybody.
And if people want to find you guys, how can they find you? Do you have an institution, or how are you training people right now?
Yes, we have first of all, we have a YouTube channel where we post like small lessons, like mini lessons, so you can get a taste of how our lessons go like. And we also have a phone number. It's 0735 606 and 676. So that will come directly to us, and we can talk about the lessons or any other like collaborations. We are really open to new ideas. Yeah, and yeah, we are on Facebook, we have Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, you can look for us.
And people can find you there. When you imagine Hikari, what do you see it being like in the coming future?
You know, the Corona has really also challenged us and pushed us to look at things from different direction. And now we have gone to online lessons. Before, we used to do only the on-site like physical lessons, and we only had like students from Nakuru environs, like we couldn't take students far from like Nairobi or anywhere. So it really pushed us to stretch, because online lesson is now like a different ball game altogether. Teaching style is now different, standards are different. We have students now from Japan thanks to that effort. We have students from many other countries like Singapore, and our vision is to compete out there, not just be a Nakuru music school, like Nakuru standard music school, but international level. Because I believe that it helps our teachers to be exposed. Like, these are the people who are found in Nakuru or just here, around here. So without such an opportunity like Hikari, they might not have even thought of going abroad or teaching a student from Japan. It's like a far-fetched dream.
Exactly.
But now you can give them an opportunity. You can show them, kumbe, there's such a world. Kumbe, there's something like that. I can teach a Japanese kid. It boosts them, like, you know.
And it gives them, like, it makes even them more passionate about their job.
Yeah, because you see the kids changing from scratch. Now, 2 months, that kid is playing songs, and you know, you even our teachers are learning Japanese songs so as to teach these children. So it stretches them, and I just find it so nice as long as the teachers are keeping up with the challenges we throw at us. And I believe that in future we are going to be out there, like even in Japan it will be recognized, like Yamaha, Kawaii, Hikari. Yeah, so that's my vision.
I love that. And I love, and it's important to dream, you know. I always tell my audience, dream about it. You know, see it even before you can achieve it, because it's important for you to have it in your heart before you can even achieve it. I know interracial marriages are not easy, but what advice would you give couples who are in your situation but they have it a bit hard?
Like married like internationally, but I think it's all about adjusting, you know, because marriage is there to make you a better person. So if you just insist on your own way and you're not gonna change, it doesn't help you to become a better person, like to be more flexible, to be more accommodative, and you show the glory of God by the way you accommodate each other, the way you stretch yourself to because of the love of the other person. You know, like for example, we had a problem like with timekeeping. Japan, we are always 5 minutes ahead of everything. And Kenya, you know, 5 minutes can be 30 minutes. So initially, when we got married, it was a bit challenging because he would say, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And he takes like 1 hour, he's not here.
Yes.
Then I'm like, why did you?
African time.
Why did you even say 5 minutes?
Yeah, yeah.
You shouldn't have said so. But then I learned to chill. I learned that this is a different way of life. It doesn't have to be done Japanese way all the time.
Yeah.
And I can accommodate it. I'm strong to accommodate it. He's also made his adjustment to
meet you halfway.
Yes. Yeah. So it's about giving up on your standards, giving up on what you are holding on to. Like this has to be done this way. This has to be done like my way. But see it from like other person's perspective. Did he have a bad intention when he said 5 minutes and didn't keep it? No, it's not like malicious. Then you can forgive and accept his standards and make something together, like make a new thing together. You see, like it in the Bible it says that 2 people shall become one flesh. It's a new thing that has come out of 2 of you. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. And Yuka, if I know mom eventually she will get an opportunity to watch this interview, if you were to speak to mom, what would you tell her?
I love her from bottom of my heart, and she is the only mom. Even my dad, he's the only dad that I'll ever have in my life. So it breaks my heart that, you know, they are carrying all this like resentment, anger, whatever I have done wrong. I can't redo them, but maybe I was not the good daughter that they hoped that, you know, they were wishing me to be. But I hope that one day, before it's too late, we can make up and they can experience that joy in the family and, you know, the lightness of the heart when you forgive somebody. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Sasa Yuka, ebu encourage our audience and your final words also to our Tuko family.
Okay, wacha nijaribu. Hata kama siko perfect. Sindio? Kujaribu ni poa, sindio? Ningesema hivi, unajua maisha inakuja na mashida mengi rather. And unajua vile nilikuwa huko chini kabisa na nikapoteza hope, matumaini kabisa, na nilifikiria yani hakuna point ya kuishi. Lakini kama mnaona mimi sasa niko na maisha poa, niko na bwana mzuri, niko na watoto, na niko na hii upendo kwa roho. Ninajaribu wasaidia watu wa Kenya. And you see, hii kusaidia si ati tukupea pesa, tukupea yani chakula. Tunajaribu kupea yani hope, yani job opportunities. Yeah. Yani watu watajijenga. So usipoteze hope, usipoteze matumaini, kwa sababu nafikiri matumaini ni like everything. It's everything. Because kwa sababu even if you don't have kwa sababu hata kama hakuna chochote, kama uko na matumaini, unaweza kusukuma ya maisha, si ndio? Na maisha kama umepoteza matumaini, itakuwa ni gumu sana. Hata kama unaishi nyumba poa, uko na magari, uko na manini, kama hakuna matumaini kwa roho, itakuwa ni gumu sana. So just usipoteze hii hope and endelea tu sukuma, hata kama kidogo, kila siku kujaribu kuwork hard. Mungu anakuona. Na Mungu anatupenda pia, si ndio? Yes,
okay. Amen. Kuna corona. Thank you so much.
Nimejaribu.
Na hiyo si kujaribu. Hiyo hata mimi I feel like I can't leave this set without 2 words za Japanese. Nifundishe mbili. How should I say thank you Tuko family for watching in Japanese?
Tuko, kazoku, kazoku is the family. Arigato.
Tuko.
Kazoku. Arigato.
Tuko. Kazoku. Arigato.
Yeah! We did it! We did it!
Nick, mambo.
Poa. Niko fresh kama maziwa lala.
Fresh kama maziwa lala. Umeshtuka kusikia wife anaongea Kiswahili hivyo?
Nishawahi msikia mara kadhaa, lakini kitu ambacho kilinishock initially was the fact that she learned that on her own. I never taught her. The only thing that she did was whenever she got stuck and she was trying to look for words because she didn't have the kamusi, she would ask me and then I would tell her. But majority of it, I would say 98% or so of it, she learned on her own.
She learned on her own. Yeah, and I know my audience will ask if you fell in love with her when you saw her. Why did you make her wait for so long?
Waiting for so long.
Why are you playing so hard to get?
No, it was, you have to make sure that this is the right person. You have to take time and know the person. It's not an issue of, yes, she's beautiful, she's fantastic, she's brilliant, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's funny, she's got that, she just gives you that motivation to get to know her.
Yeah.
But sometimes you look at people, there's this aspect of is this the right person really? Some people, you look at the cover of the book and you think this is the book. But
what's
it
inside?
Said, never judge a book by its cover. So I'll look at it from this other angle of the book looks beautiful, but inside you might have something else.
Yeah.
Or the book looks torn, but inside you might have something else.
Yeah.
For her, what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
Beautiful inside and out.
Wow.
Yes.
I know your family are okay with this, but her family is not. So how does that make you feel to see her family is not okay with her because of you?
I think that was the worry initially, because when we started and she informed her mom, it was not a very straightforward thing, because I know Japanese society, they're very closed, and so they're not open to other people, outsiders, getting into their family circle. And so initially I was a bit agitated, but then I sat down and I thought, I have this thing in me that makes me fight in a good way. In other words, if there's something that is like a road bump that stops me from moving to the next level, I have to find a way around it. And I am not going to allow a speed bump to stop me from moving. Okay? So, I was a bit agitated at first, and I had to look for a way of trying to get to them. Because I felt like, these are human beings. And human beings, you can convince them. So I wrote letters, which Yuka translated to Japanese, expressing my, not just concern, but my love for her and what I felt should not be stopped. I felt that this is God putting us together. Why did I have to wait all that long to get married? And so I got in touch with them, wrote to them, she translated, and of course the parents were a bit
flexible.
Yes. Eventually, of course, the mom came for the wedding, which was a fantastic thing. She came with a friend and the friend's son. The funniest thing that happened was that despite the fact that the mother was resistant at first, we are best of friends now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
fantastic.
See God.
Story ya siku ingine.
Story ya siku ingine.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely. And right now you guys, you run an institution
Yes, we
together. Hikari, how is it like having your wife as a partner in business? Because I'm always like, saa ingine mtakorofishana. She might not like the way you run things and you might not like the way she runs things. So how is it like running Hikari, and what does Hikari mean to you guys?
You know, reality is conflict will always be there. I might do something that she doesn't like. She might do something that I don't like. And that's part of growth. And so there have been many times that I do things that she doesn't like. But how do we resolve this? Of course, we have to go through that phase, and we have to come to a compromise. And we have to see, you know, what works, what doesn't work. Of course, for me, I would say, as a man, unfortunately, men have a shorter sight than women.
Us.
Yes, that one I accept.
Yes, good.
That one I accept.
At least we agree on something. We agree on something. Yes.
They have the foresight.
Yes.
And my wife is a blessing in that area. When she tells me, don't do this. Well, mimi na kichwa ngumu changu.
Shafanya.
And then things backfire. In the end, I go back and I think, wow, enyewe niliambiwa. A lot of times.
Yeah.
And so I have come to learn to accept to some point what she sees, and I've got to accept the fact that, you know, she has that gift of foresight. I might not have it. Sometimes I do things, they work out well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do things they don't. But I do actually appreciate her input a lot. And that is what has helped us as Hikari grow. Because she has ideas, she has fantastic ideas that she brings up. And I go and see, do we have enough, say, like something that requires funds? Do we have enough funds to undertake this? A lot of times we look at it and we just work it out. We have to find a solution to that.
I know no marriage is perfect, but
Yes.
if you are to quickly give us some tips on successful marriage, what would those 4 top tips be?
4 top tips. Christ at the center. That's number 1. Number 2, communication. It ranks well above everything else, high above everything else. Because if you think in terms of you're not communicating, and I learned this from a marriage course that we attended, one of them. We've been attending quite a number of them just to get to know each other and strengthen our marriage. So I learned one thing. If you do not communicate, you start building walls. And if you build a wall, you feel it, you keep on adding stones, you're on this side, she's on that side. It will keep on going up until at one point you can't see each other. You can't see face to face, so which means that there's this barrier and you become strangers. So communicate. Do fun things together.
That's number 3?
That's number 3.
Okay.
Do fun things together. Spend time with each other. Because if you don't spend time with each other, at the end of it all, you just become like strangers living together or friends living together. And that always brings the issue of, I don't know you, I don't know what you like, I don't care about, you know, what you like. And so you start growing distant. Okay. And the other thing, number 4, that I would probably say is not just spending time together, but once in a while surprise each other. Yes.
Good.
Surprise each other. I like buying little gifts and what she appreciates. Yeah. Once in a while, if I'm in the supermarket and I am shopping, I think she likes chocolates. Yes, buy chocolates. Yeah, look for the biggest. Sometimes I buy chocolates and then they're not the right ones. So you're like,
But it's the thought that counts.
That's what I say. Yeah. But those are my four main things.
Yeah.
Put God at the center of it all. Communicate. Spend time.
Things together.
Do fun things together.
And surprise each other. I
Yeah.
love that. I think I'll also implement that.
Wonderful.
Lovely. What would your final words be to our audience? Kwanza, do you speak Japanese?
Kidogo tu.
Unatuangusha bana.
You know,
Msichana wetu anaongea Kiswahili yote na wewe Japanese ujui bana.
I have been trying. Yeah.
Ebu your final words to our audience in Japanese.
Yeah. Ganbatene. Ganbatene.
Yuka, is that Japanese? Okay.
Inamaanisha do your best
say
in
it again.
everything. Ganbatene. Yes. Worry? No. Not worry.
Ganbatene.
Ganbate.
Ganbatane.
Ganbate.
Ganbate. Do your best.
Do your best. Yes.
Ingine?
So, she might. Imeisha.
That's yeah. Unatuangusha bana. Unatuangusha.
But I do appreciate the fact that, you know, we have spent time together. We have grown through ups and downs. There will never be a time when you can say that, you know, it's not going to be like that. You'll have challenges in life. You'll get people discouraging you. People will give you all sorts of advice. But it's important that you listen to your heart, because a lot of times the heart speaks from that inner conscience that tells you. It means that that is a voice from above that tells you, do this the right way. Never give up, work hard, and anything that you put into life, you know, if you put your hard work into it, it's going to pay. It's going to pay off. That's the thing.
That's it. Thank you so much, Nick, for taking your
Asante.
time, for welcoming us into your family house. You guys, you have an amazing home, and I look forward to coming back and just catching up and seeing how motivated our audience was by this story.
Karibuni tena na tena na tena na tena.
Arigato.
Doitashimashite.